And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get ready for the debut race of the debut season. The NRSL is back here on the Australian Sports Channel as we get set for the first of 15 races for the NRSL Winston SuperSpeedway Series. 30 laps here today at the Daytona International Speedway to kick things off. Certainly looking forward to this. It's been a long time since I've run a SuperSpeedway series on this channel, and this is going to be a good one, I certainly think. Most of these drivers you know in some capacity or other, many of them coming off of a season in either the Tax Slayer Truck Series, Pizza X Series, or Hershey's Cup Series. There's about maybe 3, 4, maybe a maximum of 5 drivers that I have never heard of before that will be seeing what they can bring to the table here today and during the course of this season. Now, what these drivers are going to be doing here is beginning the embarkment of a 10-race regular season, in which at the end of those 10 races, the top 10 in points and 2 wildcard drivers will be making their way into a 5-race playoff system to battle for the championship. It'll be the first 2 playoff races. At that point, we will then whittle the field from 12 drivers down to 8. Then we will have 2 more playoff races in which we will whittle the Elite 8 down to the Final 4 that will contend at our season finale for the championship. On the pole here today is going to be the number 96 Caterpillar Chevrolet, driven by Alexander Rowe. Alongside of him, the number 88 Ford Credit Quality Care Ford of J Bryant. Alexander Rowe raced last season's Pizza X Series, and J Bryant, of course, raced in the Hershey's Cup Series. So a mixed match of drivers during the course of this season, and all of them want a shot at winning here today. Let's go down and get the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And of course, we've given you your front row. If you want to know the entire starting lineup for today's event, you can see it down in the description of this video below. I am going to just give the forewarning. It's a brand new series. A lot of drivers in different rides and whatnot, and so I do have a driver's list that I will be referencing during the course of this race. Hopefully by the time we get to next week, maybe the week after, I will have been able to keep a mental memory of which driver is with which ride and will not have to reference it. So I will try and keep my commentary flowing as well as possible in this. But if you hear a bit of a stop, it's because I'm trying to find a driver's name on the driver list to be able to make sure that I don't make any mistakes in that regard. So just bear with me. 30 laps of racing here today. Don't know for certain what the fuel window is for these drivers. For the most part, in most of the series that I run, a lot of the series I run with CTS physics, which usually guarantee that drivers are going to have to make pit stops. This particular mod, they run with cup physics, and so they are able to go a little bit longer on fuel, so we may not even see pit stops take place during the course of this race. We're going to just have to wait and see, and I'll probably find out at the same time that you guys do. You may also have noticed, since we're running a bit of a throwback series here with the schemes and whatnot, we're trying to throw back to most of the tracks that we're going to this season as well. Running here today at the Daytona International Speedway that comes with the original NR 2003 game. No frills, no added MIPs, no revamps. It's just plain old kosher Daytona. The NR 2003 version. So we'll see. Been a long time since I've held a race at this version of Daytona, so we'll see what it's gonna do in terms of what kind of racing we can expect. Alexander Rowe and J Bryant get ready to get the inaugural green flag in the air. It is out. We're underway at Daytona. Already 3 wide up here at the front of the field. The 2 of Dylan Young in the middle of it, along with his teammate there in the 12, Isaac Nicholls. As up front, the battle for the lead is going to happen down here on the first lap into turn 3. That is J Shelly to the bottom, looking for the top position. They are still 3 wide back there. 3 wide, about 3 rows deep. Makes me a little bit nervous, to be perfectly honest with you. And J Shelly, in the car that's sponsored by the sponsor of this series, will lead the first lap of the season. I apologize for the frame rate drop. I don't know why it's doing that. As now to the inside, here comes Levi McIntire in the number 99. And they may go 3 wide for the lead because Alex Gray in the 90 looks like he's going to stay on the bottom, and they will be... No, they will not. Wow, Levi McIntire was able to get a nice run there down the back straightaway to keep in front of the 90 of Alex Gray, so he'll hold on to the top position. But this back here is what's making me nervous. Look at this. 3 wide. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows deep, and now make it 6 rows deep. Is now kicked up to the highest side. It's going to be the 3 of Michael Norman. Look at this. This is crazy. But they're keeping it together. To their credit, oh my goodness, Alexander Rowe making a move down there to the middle line. Almost would have been a 4-wide situation if he wasn't clear on the 31 of J Ciculli. And all of this going on behind the current race leader, Levi McIntire. I'll bet he's very glad he's not in this area. Ooh, Shelly took another look on the inside of J Gardner. Contact! And they are going to be 4 wide. Oh no. Oh, please settle it out here. Oh, they're going to take this into the tri-oval. This is not going to end well. This is not going to end well for anybody, and there they go! Big wreck, the big one has struck. There's a car up into the air. And the caution flag is out for the first time here today at Daytona International Speedway. They are racing back to the line. The caution, I think, did not come out until after the leader had crossed the start-finish line. But there are a number of drivers collected in that one, and you just knew when they got 4 wide that nothing good was going to come up that, especially in the entrance of the tri-oval. As Levi McIntire continues to show the way, he's going to try and lead them back here to the first caution coming out on lap number 4. Seth Cole going to take a peek to the inside here, coming to the start-finish line. Can he get him at the stripe? Nope, not quite. Levi McIntire will lead us under caution by about maybe half a car length. He beat Seth Cole to the stripe. And now, see, look at the skid marks all the way through into the entrance of turn 1. And look at the smoke just lingering here on the back straightaway. That's Ciculli in the 31, Gardner in the 46, Michael Norman in the 3. Oh, wow, look at the damage on the 8 car of Eli Bright. Looks like a Whelen modified right now. 55, J Jefferson involved. That's J Shelly. We saw him up towards the front not too long ago. The 1 of Diego Yepez on pit road. There's the 94, Justin Zeidel. And back here, a who's who of drivers with a lot of damage as well. The 21 of Nathan Stapleton, just ahead of him, the 13 of Tim Walsh, and now they're stacking up on the back straightaway. The 12 of Isaac Nicholls, the 24 of Zach Rogers. J Bryant, who started on the outside of the front row. There's the 7 of Jonathan Zoerlein. Patrick Smith, Dallas McIntosh. James Richardson, the 36, the 30 there of William Brock. Dylan Young, looks like he's got damage. Zach Flickinger. There's a whole bunch of drivers coming to pit road there. The 50 of LaPlante, Austin LaPlante, the 73 of Brenna Carmichael, the 9 of Zachary Fitzwater, the 97 of Zach Winkle, and we saw the 5 of Ace Garcia pull into pit road there as well. We could have a lot of drivers out of this one after what just went down. I wasn't even counting in my head. I don't know if you guys were, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had maybe 20 drivers at least caught up in that wreck, getting damaged in one way or another. Levi McIntire out in front. A big one has struck early here at Daytona. It may have been a while since I've run this version of Daytona, but I certainly remember the fact that they cannot go 4 wide through this tri-oval and make it work. The 2 cars in the middle, that's the 8 of Eli Bright, the 12 of Isaac Nicholls, and that's where the contact is going to begin, right there. Going to be a little contact between the 2 of them. Actually, I think the car... No, I'm wrong. I think the car that triggered that wreck was Benjamin Miles in the 4. He got into the right or left rear quarter panel of the 12 of Nicholls, turned him down into Tim Walsh, and there you see the track's just blocked up. LaPlante tried to get through. He gets swept up in it. Charles Sanford, the 35, got spun out right there. Didn't know that he was involved. And look at Michael Norman up on 2 wheels. It's hard to see through the smoke. But I mean, if we can't see through the smoke to see who's involved, think of what these drivers are having to deal with trying to get through the wreck. And boy, you can just see a lot of drivers crunched up. Oh my goodness, someone clobbered someone up here. Oh, Sanford got clobbered by Ciculli. There was a whole, what was that? Was that the left front wheel well of the 31 I just saw flying in the air? Or was that the rear bumper of the 35? Let's watch again. Sanford spun out. Ciculli nowhere to go. And watch right here. Yeah, that was the whole left front wheel well of the 31. Holy cow. There's a lot of debris littered there as well. Charles Sanford, I'm assuming, probably already took his car back to the garage area after that shot. A lot of drivers down through the grass. There's Stapleton and Rogers, Gardner. Got a couple of onboards. Why don't we take them? Absolutely nowhere for the 24 of Zach Rogers to go. Caught there in the middle, and I mean, you can't go high, you can't go low. There's drivers, you're outside, you're inside. You gotta keep the throttle and hope it sticks. Oh, there was the one car also involved there, D Yepez. Good to see that you got involved further up there. Now Michael Norman. Wow, that car just about flipped. That was a close call. We almost had a flip, and oh, right there you can see the shot for Diego Yepez. I think he ran to the back of Charles Sanford as the onboard with the 3 clearly showed us. We don't have an all-state good hands driver. If we did, I think it should go to Zach Flickinger in the 6th. Watch him make his way through this race. I mean, even though he did get some damage there on the right front, probably on the right side, to be able to try and get through the wreck as well as he did, that was pretty impressive. One final onboard with another driver in the kit who did a good job getting through this. Kyle Keith in the 42. There's an old SuperSpeedway driver adage. When all else fails, go to the grass. Kyle Keith did exactly that. Nice job of avoiding by the Bell South Chevrolet driver. We'll get ready to go back. Green flag racing on lap 9 of 30. There are a number of drivers, though, that will not be coming around to take this green flag to get us back underway. We have, I think, a total of 13 drivers out of the race, somewhere around that number. And they will include the following. William Brock will finish in 31st, Zach Rogers in 32nd, Isaac Nicholls 33rd, Tim Walsh in 34th, James Shelly 35th, J Jefferson 36th, 37th will be Eli Bright, 38th is going to be Johnny Gardner, Joshua Ciculli in 39th, Michael Norman in 40th, Charles Sanford will finish 41st, and Diego Yepez will finish in the 42nd position. So 30 cars are still running and on the lead lap. A number of them at the rear of the field, though, did get parts of that accident, and so they may not be entirely up to speed. Up front, though, it's Levi McIntyre who'll get us back underway. Seth Cole is in second. Angel Navarro is third. Joseph Srigley in fourth. And completing your top 5 is Steve Morgan in the 75. Your top 10 going to be Ashlyn Boyd, Shane Lake, Ryan Brommer, Manuel Hartnett, and Alex Gray. 22 laps to go here at Daytona, and the green flag is back in the air here for our first restart. I think you can see right there, I don't know if you looked back towards the tail end of the field, you saw drivers that were able to get up to speed and drivers who were not. I think that was the cut line between the drivers that got involved in the wreck and the drivers that didn't. For the moment, there's no battle going up here at the front. Let's drop back and see where that cutoff line is, and I think the cutoff line could very well be back here to the 9 of Zachary Fitzwater. You can see a lot of rear end damage on the back of Ace Garcia. LaPlante's going to try and make a move there. There's Zach Winkle. We know he was involved. We know most of these drivers back here were involved in that wreck in some way, shape, or form. And there is the 7 of Jonathan Zoerlein. He's the last car running on the racetrack in that 30th position. So I would say back to the 9 of Zachary Fitzwater, the drivers that are still up to speed and have a shot at this current point in time of still winning this race, as they are going to go 3 wide back there again. They were racing 3 wide, several rows deep on the first run of this race, which was kind of okay. The only problem with 3 wide, though, is sometimes, as we saw, it can lead to 4 wide, and 4 wide is not a good thing, as we are currently following the 16 of Ashlyn Boyd, making his way up here towards the front, right behind the 33 of Emmanuel Hartnett, who now is slotted into second place, right behind Levi McIntyre in the 99. Alex Gray in fourth, and Benjamin Miles, who by all rights and purposes may have triggered the big one, though he was put in a rather difficult position there in the tri-oval. He's now up to 5th, and they will go 3 wide for the lead. Here comes Ashlyn Boyd to the bottom, Hartnett in the middle, Levi McIntyre, no friends up top side. He is a lonely, lonely man in that high groove, and he's going to drop back maybe to 7th position, just like that, after being out in front. Here comes Ryan Brommer in the 40. He's got Shane Lake with him. They're now fighting their way up towards the front. We're going to go 3 wide, about 2 rows deep. Now 3 rows deep is the 71 of Philip Parker going to go to the inside line, putting Angel Navarro in the middle. Just like that, Hartnett and McIntyre, who were running 1-2, now they faded back just at the tail end of the top 10. 3 wide for the lead up here again into 3. That's Lake on the bottom, Brommer in the middle, and stuck up top side is Ashlyn Boyd. Shane Lake, that legendary 43. Looks like he may lead this lap. Brommer's going to try and battle back on the top side, but it will indeed be the STP Pontiac Grand Prix that will lead this lap. Benjamin Miles now going to look for the top spot, but he might not be able to, because here comes Phil Parker to the bottom. He's got Preston Plourd in tow there in the 18. There's the 2 of Dylan Young, right there with Levi McIntyre. Of course, these 2 very good friends. Both were teammates together at one time in the Hershey's Cup Series. And look at this at the front. My goodness, we are 3 wide, 4 rows deep again. And they're full! We got cars on the wall! That was Benjamin Miles and Shane Lake, and there may have been others involved. As the caution will wave, I believe. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. And indeed it is out for the second time here today. An incident there in turn number 4. I saw Miles, I saw Lake. There may have been others involved, I don't know. Caution is out for the second time here today, as we are just getting close to the halfway point, and this one happened right up there at the front of the field when they started deciding to get racy and go 3 wide again. I think it turned into potentially another 4 wide situation. Hartnett was also involved in the 33. Slow it up, guys. I don't see Miles or Lake. I think they may have already retired out of this race. Both took very hard hits into the outside wall, I know that. And it looks like it might have been Miles, Lake, and Hartnett that got involved in this one. I have to see here. I would be surprised if these drivers come into pit road. I think they can make it the full 30 laps, especially now that this is our second caution. It's going to give them some opportunity to be able to save fuel. Well, hang on a second. 18 of Preston Plourd looks like he's going to come to pit road, as is Dylan Young and Alexander Rowe. Looks like Parker, Navarro, and McIntosh are going to stay out, and everybody else is going to come to the pit lane. All right, so there goes that theory of mine. So as they hit pit lane, race leader is still going to be Phil Parker when we go back to green, I do believe. So let's take a look at the replay of what put us under the caution for the second time here today at Daytona. All right, watch up top side there, the 43. Oh, yeah, there was some contact right there between himself and Ryan Brommer. Brommer getting into the left rear quarter panel. Oh, and then the 16, after contact with the 43, comes down into Hartnett. Hartnett's going to go up, and boy, that's a pretty hard shot with the back end of his car into the outside wall. Maybe a little contact as well for the 90 of Alex Gray, and whoa, Shane Lake almost got into the 33 again there, and I believe both the 43 and the 4 came to pit road immediately, and there's also quite a bit of extensive damage there on the left side of Ashlyn Boyd's machine, that Prime Star Ford. So that's what brought out the caution. It was technically another 4-wide situation, and that one was triggered by the 40 of Ryan Brommer. Shane Lake and Benjamin Miles, who were running first and second when they crossed the line the last time, find themselves now behind the wall in today's race at Daytona. So as you can see, we now only have 28 drivers left in this field that are still running. Shane Lake will finish the day out in 29th. Benjamin Miles will finish in 30th. 4 drivers decided to stay out under this caution, and as a result, they will start 1st through 4th. Phil Parker will be the leader, Angel Navarro in 2nd, Dallas McIntosh in 3rd, and Steve Morgan in 4th place. 5th place was the first of the drivers to hit pit road, that is Preston Plourd. 6th place is going to be Joseph Srigley. 7th will be Brenna Carmichael. 8th, Levi McIntyre. 9th is Austin LaPlante. And completing your top 10 is going to be Patrick Smith. Now, I thought LaPlante got a piece of the first wreck we had, the big one on the front straightaway. However, the fact he's up here running inside the top 10, that Budweiser Chevrolet might be okay. He might still be up to speed, might still, with the benefit of the draft, be able to stay up here in this lead pack. So don't count him out yet. I'm going to be very curious about the 71, the 10, the 28, and the 75, whether or not they may have to pit now before we finish out this race, because I didn't expect they were going to have to pit at all. And the 18 and just about the rest of the field came down pit road here under this caution. So we'll see what happens. Green flag set to come back out with 13 laps to go here at Daytona. Drivers making moves here, getting themselves situated to head into turn number 1. Right now, Ford in 2nd and 3rd, trying to catch the 71, which I believe is a Chevrolet. Then you got the Pontiac of Preston Plourd there in 4th place. Navarro, big run down the back straightaway. No way Phil Parker could have blocked that momentum. And Phil Parker's going to get left out to dry as Fords will work together here. Navarro to the lead, McIntosh to 2nd, and now they're pitting. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Why didn't they come to pit road there under that caution? But they didn't. And now they're going to have to pay the pipers. Up front, look at there, look at Steve Morgan. The 75 trying to use that side draft off the 71 of Phil Parker to slingshot his way to the race lead. Never seen Steve Morgan in a race here on this channel before, making his debut on the channel here in the NRSL Winston SuperSpeedway Series, and what a statement it would be for him if he can get a win here at Daytona. Parker in the 71, you got to wonder if he's going to be coming to pit road. Looks like he is, as is the 75, so yeah, they took themselves out of the running for this win, it looks like, with that. With staying out, I don't understand why they stayed out. I mean, I don't see now, especially since these drivers basically pitted during the halfway mark there on that second caution. I don't think there's any way that they're going to have to come back to pit road. I think maybe those four might have been hoping for a quick caution to happen, so that way they'd have been able to stay out, have some track position, then come to pit road and try and finish out the race, but they did not get that quick yellow that they were hoping for, if that was indeed their strategy. 3-car breakaway at the front of the field for the moment. J Srigley there, R Brommer, and Austin LaPlante. As I said, the 50 looked like he would possibly be up to speed, and that is the case. And look at this. Boy, they did not stay ahead of these guys very long. Seth Cole and Levi McIntyre caught these guys very quickly. How about that 5 of Ace Garcia still up here in the lead pack? That rear end looks like he's been through a demolition derby. I mean, the whole rear decklet is showing. And yet he's now up here inside of the top 10 as Seth Cole, Levi McIntyre working together, trying to catch the Jasper engines and transmissions. I believe it's a Ford of J Srigley. And they will catch him by the time they get down here into turn number 4. We are now at 10 laps to go. This is when drivers are going to amp it up just a little bit more. And now Seth Cole, that Hot Wheels Blues Brothers band Pontiac Grand Prix, trying to go for the top position. And do we have traffic up ahead? Yeah, it's those drivers that came to pit road. Navarro, Morgan, Parker, and McIntosh are not too far ahead of the race leaders. Another driver working his way up here towards the front, Tony Green, the 22. And while this is certainly not the Tax Slayer Truck Series, you know, if you want to do some Daytona numbers, Tony Green won the Tax Slayer Truck Series season opening race at Daytona last year, and he's now up here in the top 10 of this race. As Dylan Young, the NRSL president, is going to lead a lap here. Preston Plourd right behind him. And now he's going to try and go for the top spot, or is he? Here comes Tony Green, 3 wide for the race lead. And this is starting to make me nervous, because the last time they started getting 3 wide up at the front of the field was when we had our second caution take place. And it was with drivers that were running up inside of the top 10 at that point in time. 3 wide, 2 rows deep, make it 3 rows deep. They're almost 4 wide. Seth Cole got to keep off the rear, or the left rear quarter panel of that 2-car of Dylan Young. They almost had a deja vu sense right there in turn 4, but they got through it okay for the moment. Tony Green going to lead that lap in the MBNA Pontiac. Now Alex Gray to the inside, and here comes Austin LaPlante. He's going to go 3 wide, 3 rows deep. That now brings more drivers up into this lead pack, including Alexander Rowe and Patrick Smith. Zach Flickinger as well in the 6 trying to catch up to this lead group. Kyle Keith, Zachary Fitzwater, and Zach Winkle all have a shot if they continue to race 3 wide up here at the front like they're doing. Oh, Dylan Young, don't do that. Dylan, don't do that. Oh, he gets into Preston. There they go. Oh, and there's a big wreck. Oh, my goodness. Dylan Young, Preston Plourd, Alex Gray, Tony Green. Oh, man. Flickinger was in it. Ashlyn Boyd was in it. And Levi McIntyre was the leader, coming back to the line with 6 laps to go. There is Patrick Smith. We just saw the 18 of Preston Plourd. There is Alexander Rowe. Dylan Young, who I believe started that wreck, getting into the left rear quarter panel of the 18. Thought I saw the 90 of Alex Gray get a piece of it. And with the caution waving, this is probably going to set us up for a dash to the finish. I believe Ashland Boyd got a piece of it. I saw him have his car down the apron, the front straightaway. Z Flickinger was trying to battle back for a good finish after getting a piece of the big one. Our first caution. He's got a lot of damage. And we could have a skeleton of a field now left to finish out this race when and if we do get back green flag racing. Levi McIntyre out in front once again. And once again, pacing us under caution. All right there, you can see Dylan Young with a lower entry into 3 than the car ahead of him, Preston Plourd. And right there was that contact into the left rear quarter panel, down into Alex Gray. There was also contact down the apron there between Joseph Srigley and Ace Garcia, and that sent Garcia up the track in front of Patrick Smith and Alexander Rowe, and then Seth Cole got T-boned by the 73 of Brenna Carmichael. How did the 22 of Tony Green get involved? Oh yeah, he was up on that top side there of that situation. I mean, look at that. At this, right at this current point in time, 22 is running in 3rd. Next thing you know, he's wrecked. Let's see how Seth Cole got involved here. Oh, right there, yeah. Contact between himself and Z Flickinger sent him down into the 97 of Z Winkle, and then that's when he got T-boned by the 73. I think Seth Cole kept it going. Yeah, he got the car right. It kept going, but that's obviously a lot of damage on the right side of his machine. There is Patrick Smith. There is Preston Plourd. A lot of drivers that we're looking at here now, completely wrecked race cars that had a shot of winning this race had they been able to keep it green coming to the checkered flag. It's going to be a green-white checkered finish to end off our first race of the season here of the NRSL Winston SuperSpeedway Series. But there are a couple more drivers that will not be in the running to try and take the first checkered flag of the season. Patrick Smith out of the race will finish in the 25th spot. 26th is going to be Ace Garcia. 27th will be Preston Plourd. And 28th will be Brenna Carmichael. So 24 cars still on the racetrack and still in the lead lap. Surprisingly, there were some drivers I thought would come to pit road that did not, that got pieces of that incident. Drivers like Z Winkle, he'll restart in 7th. Z Flickinger will restart in 8th. 9th place is going to be Ashland Boyd, and 10th place is Seth Cole. We know that at least all 4 of them got some piece of that wreck. Dylan Young also, I believe, decided to stay out. He's going to restart in 14th, and also the 22 of Tony Green restarting there in 15th place. So we'll see if these drivers still have a shot. Apparently they don't want to give up the track position they have, with it being just a 2-lap dash to the finish. Levi McIntyre out in front, though. 2nd place is Ryan Brommer. 3rd, Austin LaPlante. 4th, Joseph Srigley. 5th is Kyle Keith. Zachary Fitzwater, who we haven't talked about all day, is now up in 6th place. And then it's Winkle, Flickinger, Boyd, and Cole, the top 10. If the caution comes out before the white flag is displayed, the race will be over and end. Under caution, they will race back to the caution and the white flag at the same time. Hopefully we can get to that white flag lap, because then we'll race back to the checkers no matter what. Levi McIntyre, can he close the deal out here at Daytona? Green flag in the air. It's a green-white checkered. He got a bit of a gap between himself and 2nd place Ryan Brommer. That might not be a good thing, as now LaPlante's going to drop to the inside. That's going to be the battle for 2nd place, which may help the 99, at least for the moment, but someone's going to get a heck of a run on him, I think, down this back straightaway. Fitzwater pushing Kyle Keith back there. Those two hooked up together. Now look at how the gap's closing, visibly closing between first and second place. Levi McIntyre could very well be a sitting duck if they catch him before the entry of the corner, which they don't, so he might be okay. 3 wide back there for fourth. As now the top 3 are single file, nose to tail, coming to the white flag. R Brommer with a move to the inside of Austin LaPlante. That's for second. Who's going to be the driver that's going to try and challenge Levi McIntyre for this win? Brommer still side by side with LaPlante. Going to try and clear him before they get to turn number 2. He is successful in doing so. Now Brommer trying to get a big run here on Levi McIntyre down the back straightaway. Can he get enough of a run to make a move here into 3? Oh, he was close, but I don't think he's close enough. He might be able to make a move here out of turn number 4 if LaPlante is willing to go with him. We're going to have to wait and see. As out of turn number 4, Levi McIntyre trying to hold off Brommer. Here comes LaPlante to the inside. Here comes Brommer trying to use the drafting help. But Levi McIntyre is going to hang on the top side. By half a car length, he will win the season opening race here today at Daytona. Boy, Brommer tried. He saw LaPlante went to the bottom. He tried to use that little bit of a draft push to get McIntyre at the line, but it was just too little too late. And Levi McIntyre, a driver who spent all last year trying to find victory lane in the Hershey's Cup Series, starts off the NRSL Winston SuperSpeedway Series with a trip to victory lane. Standing should be official. Levi McIntyre was probably undoubtedly one of the top 5 strongest cars of the day anyway, and he proved it there on those final few laps. And of course, being out in front kept him ahead of a lot of the chaos that took place during the course of today's race as well. R Brommer will have to settle for second, officially 43 1/1000ths of a second. The gap between himself and Levi McIntyre at the line. Austin LaPlante will finish in 3rd. J Fitzwater in 4th with Kyle Keith in 5th. 6th place for Joseph Srigley. Ashland Boyd battled back with a damaged race car in all for him to be able to finish 7th. And how about Emmanuel Hartnett? That car had no rear end, and he still got a top 10 out of it in 8th. J Winkle got 9th, and Z Flickinger completed the top 10. Then 11th was J Richardson, J Bryant in 12th. Steve Morgan got 13th. We never talked really up today at all about Justin Zeidel in the 94. He was able to get 14th. Phil Parker got 15th. That's right, I forgot. With that caution that took place, that helped Parker, McIntosh, those drivers that were in danger of going a lap down. That helped them to get back on to stay on the lead lap after having to make those pit stops. Just realized that, so they were able to at least get somewhat decent finishes. Parker 15th, Navarro 16th, and McIntosh there in 17th. 18th place was Alex Gray, Tony Green in 19th, and Nathan Stapleton completing the top 20. And the rest of the cars that finished the race were Alexander Rowe 21st, Seth Cole 22nd, 23rd, Jonathan Zoerlein, and Dylan Young in 24th. Everybody else finished out of the race, getting involved in at least one of our 3 cautions during the course of today's race. Patrick Smith, Ace Garcia, Preston Plourd, Brenna Carmichael, Shane Lake, Benjamin Miles, William Brock, Zach Rogers, Isaac Nicholls, Tim Walsh, James Shelly, J Jefferson, Eli Bright, Johnny Gardner, Joshua Ciculli, Michael Norman, Charles Samper, and Diego Yepez all finishing out of the race. At this current point in time, if the season were to, the regular season were to come to a close, McIntyre, Brommer, LaPlante, Fitzwater, Keith, Srigley, Boyd, Hartnett, Winkle, and Flickinger would all make it into the postseason, being top 10 in the points, with finishing top 10 here today in the season opener. But there's still 9 more races left to go. But anyway, congrats to Levi McIntyre on starting out the season with a 1 in the win column, a big W for that 99 team, and we'll see if they can carry that momentum into the continuation of the season. But thank you all so much for watching today's race here from Daytona. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today, and also be sure to subscribe over to the NRSL guys as well. I'll be leaving all their information in the description below as well. We will see you guys next week, as now you will see your point standings heading into next week. I didn't have a in-place schedule, a list schedule of what tracks I was going to in what order, so wherever the spirit moves me to go for a super speedway next week is where we'll be going, so you'll have to tune in to find out where that place will be. Till then, though, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NCRA Offline Racing at its best. I'll see you guys next week.